Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. And joining me right here today is James Cooke from CaptC. How are you, James?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Kayden?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for asking. What made you want to get into music?
Um, I've been playing for a long time. I started playing in high school and college in a rock band. And gravitated towards country when I got back in. When my kids got older, I decided I could either take up golf or go back to playing music. I suck at golf. So I turned to music, and I've always liked writing songs. So I guess that's where I consider myself a singer-songwriter in the alt country indie rock genres.
That's awesome. What do you most enjoy about music?
Well, I like performing, but I also like the challenge of songwriting. We can get a little bit into this. Songwriting, yeah, well, when I first started writing, I used to sit back in a porch and I'd sit back and strum something and something would come to me. Then I joined the National Songwriters Association, got a little more grounding. And songwriting is both an art and a craft. So now I spend a fair amount of time working on melody and lyrics. With country songs in particular, lyrics and prosody are really important. I mean, I'm going to say this, the difference between someone like an Eric Church and a Morgan Wallen and some people who are far better singers is the content of their songs. So I put a lot of emphasis starting first with the story concept and then work the song.
That's awesome. If you could choose anybody to do a duet or a collaboration with, James, who would you choose and why?
Cody Jinks, because I find his music authentic.
Yes.
I find Cody's, I think what stands out about his music is closer. I mean, Nashville's gone very pop. To me, Nashville you look, Florida Georgia Line's a pop band. Jason Aldean is a rocker. Cody Jinks is a country guy. He relates back to Merle Haggard and Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash. His music to me is closer to those guys than most of the Nashville scene.
And that's funny that you mentioned that because someone was telling me that he's actually considered an indie artist too, and I didn't know that, to be honest.
Well, yeah, if we get a little talk about it. Cody Jinks, to my knowledge, has never signed with a label and has made a career, is very successful as an indie artist. He's one of the most successful going. So he's somebody I look up to in that regard. He's been very successful.
Totally. So do you have any advice to those who might want to start singing but doesn't really know how to get their foot in the door?
You mean singing or
Yes.
performing?
Well, I would say both. I guess that both goes into the same category.
Well, first of all, you got to practice. I'm not, should say, a natural singer. I've worked with a lot of people and picked up a lot of stuff. But you start like everybody else. You start going to open mics and you start playing out. You got to get used to playing in front of an audience and develop a comfort level. And again, from someone who played years ago in a rock band in the Move, it takes a while to develop that presence. And in fact, I still think I'm working on stage presence myself.
Definitely. Let me ask you, do you have any new singles or any upcoming projects you want to share with us today?
Sure. Let me talk about my new single. Can we maybe even share the screen and I can even play a snippet of it?
Sure. So I'll play the first few seconds of it right now.
Yeah, why don't you play through the first verse?
Okay.
Got my eyes on the road from morning till night. Up before the sun, the highway is my life. I keep looking ahead for that first ray of light. Always watching what's sneaking up on the inside.
All right, there we go. So that is a little sneak peek of that. So why don't you tell us about Share the Road?
Okay, well, first of all, a couple shout outs to some people. That song's a co-write with a woman named Serena Mae Smith. So the song is from the perspective of a trucker, but it's really got a universal message about all of us needing to share the road. But the song is sort of written from a trucker's perspective. Serena was a great help on that song. I actually came up, which is unusual for the way I write. I actually came up with a melody line for the chorus in the shower.
Oh, really?
And worked backwards, but she wrote the bridge, because which I think is a great part when we get to the song. It has a standard structure: verse, chorus, bridge, back to chorus. The other person is a huge shout out to that song is the producer Jeff Wadhams. Jeffrey Wadhams, he plays the steel on it and added to me, which adds that real country flavor to that song. So I'm really proud of that piece of work. Again, there was a lot of effort. We worked from the concept back to write both the verse, lyrics, and then the bridge. So
All right, that's awesome.
So
And yeah, from what I heard, I really enjoyed the song. I think you really did a great job, and I think it really does resemble with a lot of different things too. So
yep. So if we want to go to another song, we could go to Beer Under the Bridge, which is the one I let out before that. You can call that one up, just play the first
sure,
snippet of that.
we could do that. And what I'll do, guys, also is I'll play the full thing later once we're done editing this and everything too. So you guys, it'll either be before or after. So make sure to stay tuned into the King Gordon Show to find out when that will be on, and we'll go from there. What was the other one you wanted me to play? I'm sorry.
If you can pick it up, I can go play it the part of the MP3 file from here, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that should be fine. I mean, as long as it sounds good, I might make just sense because I have all the equipment to run it through me. But
yeah, well, if it doesn't sound good, you're going to edit this.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, that makes it easy because it doesn't sound good. All these songs are on YouTube. I have my own Vivo channel too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find where I started at. Let's see.
Just
As I said, if you want,
So yeah, we're definitely gonna let you guys know when that song is gonna be playing right here on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. We are back with James Cooke, aka CaptC. So my next question for you, James, is what do you like doing outside of music? Do you have any hobbies, interests, anything like that going on?
I garden.
What do you do?
Other than
Okay.
that, between work and music is pretty much my life.
So let me ask you, because I know we're both in Massachusetts. Do you like being here in Massachusetts?
If you listen to my song called "Yeah, Texas," that'll be my answer.
Okay.
Play my song "Yeah, Texas." Massachusetts is an interesting place, though it does have a fair amount of big fan base for country music. It's surprising. People who are from other parts of the U.S. don't realize that there's a big network of country. A lot of country artists and people come out of here too, by the way. So
yeah, and I don't think I like a bunch of people find out you're from Massachusetts. How come you're a big country fan? And they're like, "What? Really?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
you would believe, like, the country music. There's a lot of country music out here, especially local country music. I was watching a thing that they were doing for the cancer fund with a bunch of people I'm really good friends with, and there was a lot of people involved. So there's a lot of people here in Mass that are so involved in country music you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah,
unless if you actually came here.
Yeah, there is actually a New England country group that's pretty big here. So yeah, people wouldn't recognize it, but there is a less up in the Northeast. You'll find a fair amount. I mean, if you go to New Hampshire, upstate New York, people would be surprised because people think of country music as Tennessee and Texas and Georgia. But
yeah, I know.
But there's a lot of a lot of fans and a lot of musicians doing country up this way.
Absolutely. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you have a goal?
My goal is actually to get out and play venues that support only local music and maybe tour. And that's where I want to go. I'm really, as it is now, when I play out and I play out in the area, I do a lot of cover songs. So you name a modern country artist, I probably do a song by him. I'm really trying to focus where I just do shows, featuring
Yeah.
my original music.
That's awesome. Yeah, next week I'm gonna be DJing a food truck festival. I'm super excited for that here in my hometown. So we have 4 bands currently, and I was gonna ask about for you, but I don't know if they're accepting any more people now. So it's gonna be fun. We're super excited for it.
Well, we'll maybe talk
Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, if there's anybody listening who's up in, especially in Mass, Connecticut,
Mhm.
New England area, who does a country festival or is looking for somebody to perform,
Mhm.
reach out to probably my Facebook page or my website, www.CaptC CaptC.music, CaptMusic.com. But reach out
That's
to me.
awesome. So where can people find you on social media if they want to keep up with what you're doing?
Well, if you want to find out what I'm doing, it's probably my Facebook page. But I'm pretty
Okay.
active on TikTok, Instagram. As I said, I put out lyric videos on YouTube. I have a Vivo channel. The interesting thing, I do a lot of stuff on TikTok, but the interesting thing about TikTok is a worldwide medium.
Mhm.
So I mean, I look at the data, and there are people from Australia, but I'm
Mhm.
listening to my music. But again, I'm looking to play out in the New England area. So.
Fantastic. And is there anything that I forgot to mention that you'd like to mention, James?
Well, you didn't answer how I came up with the name CaptC.
Oh yes, that's right. I did forget. I almost forgot about that question. How did you come up with CaptC? Thank you for reminding me.
Well, being my real name is James Cooke. Okay,
Mhm.
but that's a pretty boring name. That's like being named John Smith. If you want an example, Luke Bryan's bass player is named Jim Cooke. There's another
Mhm.
singer-songwriter, James Cooke. So for branding purposes, Captain James Cooke.
Mhm.
So that's where his Captain Cooke. So I went with, again, people want to find it's CaptC, almost like a rapper's name, CaptC. So that's how that name came. It was for branding because, as I said, it's a common name. I mean, Luke Bryan's bass player's name, Jim Cooke.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's important, so people aren't thinking that you're Luke Bryan's bass player.
That's right. Don't think I'm backing up Luke. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So, also one more thing. Do you want to give everyone a message that might be listening or watching this?
Yeah. Glad you're listening in to Kayden Gordy. He's giving a lot of exposure to us indie alt country artists who could use all the exposure we can get. So I really appreciate you doing something like this. As I said, I love playing music. If you're in the New England area, I mean, check out my Facebook page because I play out locally. And if you're somebody who does country music, runs a venue, reach out.
Awesome. Well, James, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show today's Best Country Mix. We sure do appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you having me again. If there's anything I could do, reach out. You have my